The Black Ops 7 beta just ended, and today we're going to talk about it. The good, the bad, and whether or not you should buy it this November. In this video, I will be going over what we got in the beta, so both multiplayer and zombies, and I'll have timestamps in the description below so you can skip to any part of the video you may have more interest in. Now, with that being said, let's get into the video. Alright, so this video is going to be a bit off the cuff. I'm just going to kind of freeball my thoughts on the beta so far. We're going to start with multiplayer. We're going to start with the pros I had with multiplayer. First and foremost, the maps of multiplayer that we've gotten so far have been excellent. There hasn't been a single map I disliked in the beta so far, which is very refreshing coming from a game like Black Ops 6 where most of the maps aren't great. But with that said, the maps in Black Ops 7 really do stand out. Obviously, we gotta wait till the full game releases in November because we're gonna have all the maps then. But so far, everything I've seen in the beta has been pretty good. My favorite map so far has probably been either Blackheart or Exposure, and my least favorites have probably been Cortex and Imprint, and even Cortex and Imprint are still pretty good maps, so we're looking good on the map front. The next pro I had was definitely the movement. The movement feels like a much more refined, more fluid, and just overall better version of Omni movement that we got in Black Ops 6. It feels really good. The wall bounce is really fun, and you can pull off some really cool things with it, but it's not a gimmick. It's not game breaking. It's actually pretty easy to track people that are wall bouncing, but it does add that higher level of skill that you can strive for because there are some plays you can make with wall bouncing to just get the better on your opponent. Next pro I had were the weapons. I thought the weapons selection that we got in the beta was all just very, very good. Every AR felt great, M15 and the SCAR in particular. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Peacekeeper, but the Peacekeeper still felt really good. The SMGs like the Dravik, which is stupidly broken, were all really good too. I never got around to using one of the LMGs, but I heard that the LMG was all right. Sniping, really, really good. Every gun in the beta so far has been really well balanced, really fun to use. They feel really good shooting, and that is very refreshing too because, again, another complaint I had with Black Ops 6 is the guns weren't really that memorable. There was no guns in Black Ops 6 that really stood out as being like a gun I really like, but there's already a few in the beta so far with Black Ops 7 that I do like. Next pro I had, and this is a really big pro for me, I didn't play any cheaters on the beta at all. I play on PC, and not once did I come across any cheaters. I've seen clips on Twitter, obviously, and I've seen clips on YouTube of some cheaters cheating, but it has been a lot less that I've seen as compared to previous Call of Duties in recent years. The cheating problem has never looked as good as it does right now, and that is just incredible to me. I can't believe that it's taken them this long, but we finally have a Call of Duty where cheaters aren't going to be as prevalent going forward, and I'm really looking forward to that. And the last pro I have with multiplayer is it feels like the devs are actually listening to community feedback this year, which is kind of insane. No, what's actually insane is that when they actually do listen to us, that's what we feel is insane. It should have never been that way. They should have been listening to us from the start, but whatever, I'll take it. They're listening now. Thank you, Battlefield 6, because you finally knocked some sense into them. But the devs really do feel like they're listening. Multiple complaints about the TTK in the beta, and the devs already addressed that, saying they will be increasing it slightly and changing the damage values around. So they're already addressing the TTK. The doors, while we were in the beta, the automatic doors that are pretty prevalent in all the maps, they already took a pass at them, removed some of them. They adjusted the way they work to make the game feel even better. And finally, they just announced yesterday that the open mosh pit, so basically the reduced skill-based matchmaking, still some skill-based matchmaking, but more how it used to be in classic Call of Duties, is going to be the default matchmaking mode for Black Ops 7, and they are bringing back persistent lobbies. Like, I can't even begin to describe how happy that makes me. I've been wanting this for so long because I've always felt the classic Call of Duties and just the older Call of Duties in general had the better matchmaking system, and I've really hated the matchmaking system we got with 2019 Modern Warfare up until now, and the fact that they're finally adjusting that makes me so freaking happy. But there were some cons I had with the beta, as always, and the first one of those being the spawns. Spawns are better than Black Ops 6 spawns, I'll give them that, but it's still not great. A lot of the games I had, there would be times where I'm spawning literally right in front of the enemy team in their side, or vice versa. Like, the way spawns work in this game is just not that good. I do think they are a little bit better than Black Ops 6, and obviously spawns are something that gets better with more player base and more time as the game flushes out. But as it stands right now, the spawns are a definite issue that they really need to look at. All right, next issue I had was dexterity, and not that I don't like dexterity, I don't like fact that dexterity is a crutch perk and it's kind of eliminates any perk freedom you might have in that third slot, because if you're not running dexterity, you're kind of throwing, especially in this game, because my next con is the hip fire, and the hip fire spread in this game is genuinely terrible. And if you don't have dexterity, you're just not going to really be able to do that much when you're sliding or wall bouncing, which is not good at all, especially with this Call of Duty being very movement heavy. What I think they should do is they just need to put dexterity in the base of the game. And if you're unfamiliar with the way dexterity works in this game, is they basically made it so when you're sliding or you're wall bouncing, if you have dexterity on, you can aim down sights while you do it. Basically similar to what we have in Black Ops 6, but the difference is Black Ops 6 is base, Black Ops 7, you need a perk. And that really just kills the third slot, and you basically always just run dexterity, which doesn't feel great, and I hope that's something they can look at and address. My next con was weapon leveling. I think it's ridiculous that most of the weapons in the beta had weapon levels up to 50 levels. I don't know where this got introduced or why we're going back to Vanguard levels, but just like make the weapon levels like 20. The game's not fun leveling up your weapon just to make the gun feel better, especially with this system where we're going to have weapon prestige, where it's going to take even longer to prestige your weapons if you want to go for those. So I definitely think weapon levels need to be toned down pretty drastically, especially when we do have, like I said, weapon prestige coming back. And then my last con for multiplayer is the lack of innovation from Black Ops 6. Obviously, this is a new setting, new maps, new guns, and the gameplay is slightly different, but when you're actually playing the game, it feels very, very similar to Black Ops 6. The way the guns feel, the way the game kind of just runs, it feels very, very similar to Black Ops 6. The perks are all very similar. A lot of score streaks are carried forward. So I think the lack of innovation from Black Ops 6 to Black Ops 7 is a big issue, but unfortunately that's just something they can't really fix because they made back-to-back Black Ops games. So there's not much we can really do with that. If you're a fan of Black Ops 6, then you're in business. If you weren't, it's going to be a lot more of the same, but just a better version of Black Ops 6, which I was a fan of Black Ops 6, so I'm looking forward to that. All right, well, that does multiplayer. Now I wanted to talk about zombies a little bit. Zombies, I definitely have more cons than I do pros, and that's not to say that this game's zombies or the survival map we got is bad. It was very good. I really enjoyed playing zombies in the beta. I hope that's something they continue to do. But my issue with Black Ops 7 zombies, especially the form we got in the beta, is it's still modern zombies. There's still armor, there's still salvage, score streaks, field upgrades, no starting pistol, you get the point. It's modern zombies at its finest, and the biggest issue I have with it is that it is pretty much a copy and paste of Black Ops 6. When I was jotting down some points of what I want to talk about regarding zombies, it was really hard to think of things I could say that I liked about it because it's just so similar to Black Ops 6. The way the systems work, the way the game feels, the way armor works, the way salvage works, the way everything works in this game is pretty much identical to Black Ops 6, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because I do believe Black Ops 6 has the best modern zombies mechanics for modern zombies. But the issue I have with this is if you look at World at War up until Black Ops 4, every game of zombies, they pushed the boundaries. Every game was vastly different, completely different tones, gameplay systems. Even if you didn't like the changes they at least made the changes. This game from Black Ops 6 is just so similar. Like, I can't even begin to describe how similar it is because if you play Black Ops 6, you've kind of already played Black Ops 7. And another issue I had this time around with Black Ops 7 zombies was that the weapons, especially the bullet weapons, feel very, very weak. Once you hit like past round 30, if that, even you go even high 20s, like most of the weapons, even if they're gold rarity, even if they're triple pack-a-punched, they feel like complete shit. They don't do damage at all. Now, granted, we don't have all the augments that boost our damage, especially for our bullet weapons, so that could be playing a factor, but the fact that your bullet gun basically dies out around 30, even if it's fully upgraded, and it takes up until probably round 30 to get your gun fully upgraded, it feels like just a really worthless investment to put into a gun. That's something I just don't really like at all. And then finally, the last thing I don't love is that they are reusing some assets from Black Ops 6. 6. If you hit above round 40 in the Zombies beta, you probably saw that Doppelgas are back as a special enemy. I don't love that. When they were marketing Black Ops 7 and they showcased everything new in the game, they showcased the Ravengers that were new for the max ammo rounds and a new enemy type. They showcased the Bears, the Xursas, which are the new elite enemies, but they didn't really showcase any special enemies. And I think the reason they didn't is because it's just Doppelgas, or it's probably gonna be Manglers. And I really don't like that. I really wish we could have gotten some new things. They've already announced too that Uberklaus from Reckoning is coming back as well. So don't love that. Hopefully that's something they could change going into the DLC maps. And I hope that they do make that change, because this game needs to separate itself as much as it can from Black Ops 6 because the game is so similar. But I do have some pros with Black Ops 7. First and foremost, the visuals of Black Ops 7 already are better than every modern COD Zombies game, including Black Ops 6. Like, we only got the farm, which is a very small survival map in Black Ops 7, but just the farm alone aesthetically is so much more pleasing as a longtime Zombies fan than any other zombie map we've gotten since probably Cold War. Like, the skybox, incredible. The aesthetic of the map itself, especially when you go into like the farm or you go into the house, just really dripping with style. They even changed the ammo box crates so they don't just look like something ripped out of Warzone. They actually look like something that would be found in a modern Zombies. They didn't change the way Pack-a-Punch looks or anything like that, which I don't love, but everything else, even the exfil is now like a telephone booth. It's no longer just a radio. Everything visually fantastic. Speaking of that phone booth as well, the new system with exfil I think is really good. I love the fact that now no longer is it run to a certain location, kill a certain amount of zombies, get on the helicopter, get out. I never really liked that. I thought it was like a little old after doing it so much in Cold War. This year around though, they did change it. So now you go to the telephone booth, you activate exfil, and it just spawns in a high value target. So with this game, it is a Xursa, the big bear. You kill that in like 2 minutes, a minute 30, and you're able to escape. That's it. No extra steps, nothing like that. You're able to escape. And another thing I love with the exfil system this year is if you're playing co-op with friends, if your friends for whatever reason or yourself need to get off, you can exfil yourself without your friends. So basically you can get off or your friends can get off if they need to go do something, and it won't end the game. They can just leave by exfilling, and you and everyone else in your party playing who still want to keep playing can continue playing. That's a really big change. I really like that. And then my final pro for Zombies this year is the soundscape. I thought the soundscape was really good. The new announcer, the way the new enemy type, the Ravagers, sound when they spawn in, the Bears, like everything just felt really good sound wise. And that is something that I will give Treyarch props forever, is that they always kill it when it comes to sound design. And Black Ops 7 was no slouch in that department. Black Ops 7 seemingly so far looks to be one of the best Call of Duties we've gotten in quite a long time. The gameplay feels fluid, fast, and much more refined than Black Ops 6. The setting being more futuristic really excites me, as my more favorite Call of Duties of the past are futuristic titles. However, while I do feel like this is a worthwhile purchase and I would highly recommend doing so, the game does feel very similar gameplay wise to Black Ops 6. No, I don't think this is just a $70 DLC. And yes, the maps are better. It's a different setting, different guns, and there's more refined movement with wall bouncing. But when you're actually playing the game, it feels very similar. Zombies gameplay wise is almost identical to its predecessor. The multiplayer perks are all mostly carried forward with the same, albeit better system of combat specialties. There's a lot of similar score streaks, and the UI is just a slightly modified version of Black Ops 6. Now, if you're a fan of Black Ops 6, which I was and still am despite the lack of post-launch support, then this year will be a very good COD, especially with Treyarch leaving nothing on the table, as we're getting a new engine with Modern Warfare 4, so Treyarch is putting everything they've been working on in Black Ops 7. But if you weren't the biggest fan of Black Ops 6, which seemingly most of the fan base wasn't, then I would hold off on buying this year's Call of Duty and wait to see if Treyarch will actually follow through and give us great post-launch support. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like on the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you in the next one. Later.